Hey there, this is Rochelle. I am the OG Depressed American. What's up? I can talk a little bit about how this all started. I had a blog in 2013 to 2014, I believe, and it only lasted about a year. It was depressedamerican.com, and I'm still planning to put depressedamerican.com back up again. I might actually do it really soon. However, for now, I think I might do these little vlogs because I've been inspired by all these entrepreneurs that I follow. I'm in business and I do entrepreneurship, whatever that means. And there's all these really great guys out there that are putting out videos on YouTube. So I'm going to show my face and see if it connects with anybody. So let me know if you like these videos. This all started because I wanted to find a way to monetize a blog, and I was trying to figure out a niche, a topic that I would be interested in enough to write about over and over again. Because let's be honest, when you start a business and you're doing something for the money, if you don't actually enjoy that thing, that topic, it's going to be pretty miserable. And well, I've been pretty miserable from depression, so it's something that I personally have a lot of experience with, and I kind of wanted the blog to be my journey slash figuring out how to overcome depression and now anxiety along with it. It took a long time to identify basically what anxiety is, and that's what I was feeling, that's a whole other topic. Is a lot of people are struggling with these issues, these conditions, and they don't even know that they are. So I couldn't even put a name to depression or anxiety for a long time. I just knew I had these really awful feelings. And the blog was a really cool way to try to start monetizing and organizing info based on that. And I think it was a good blog, but it was a long time ago. I got depressed at one point, and probably in 2014, and then I just stopped completely. And then the domain name expired and the website's gone, and I repurchased the domain name a couple years ago. So I've always had it in the back of my mind to bring it back, not necessarily make money from it, actually provide and discover solutions for people and kind of codify and organize information so that people can actually find resources and find people who understand what they're going through. And I just think that our mental health community, our government, our school system, our churches, all of our conventional systems, I believe that they, for the most part, have failed us when it comes to mental health. And I know a lot of people have tried really hard and had really good intentions, but I just think there is a lot to be, there's a, what's the phrase? There's a lot missing. There's a lot to be desired when it comes to understanding this. 44,000 Americans in their lives every year, basically 1 million people worldwide in their lives due to depression and related issues. And I think that's a really big problem, and it's only getting worse. And a lot of it has to do with the modern stresses of life, the things we're putting in our body. So that's what I'm going to be here on this channel exploring. And I hope that you join me on my journey. That brings me to what's going on with coronavirus. I believe there's going to be a bigger mental health crisis than there already is, because depression was projected to be the number one leading cause of disability in 2020, and that was several years ago. It's now 2020. I think I've actually seen literature that says depression is the leading cause of disability, which means someone can't work, they literally can't function because they have an illness, they have a disorder. And there's a lot of people out there who think depression isn't real, or it's just a matter of having big enough goals. Look, I have huge goals, and I always have. And sometimes I think that having such big goals actually makes the sadness and the grief and the sense of loss from all these other things that have happened in my life even worse, because I'm sitting here beating myself up for being down here when my standard is so up here. So I don't think that means I should lower my standards at all or be quote unquote more realistic. But now my goal is feel good, have a good mood, get 8 hours of sleep, eat great nutrition. And that's always been part of my goals. But I have, be a millionaire as kind of the number one goal. And now it's just let's get out of bed and feel good, drink 8 ounces of water, and do all these really core foundational things that become automatic, that build up in my system to feel good, so that my automatic default state is to feel good, so that then I can go and reach those bigger goals. And I think a lot of people are missing those baby steps, and they don't realize, well-intentioned people don't realize potentially how long it can take for your body to catch up and actually start feeling good, and to reach the proper levels of nutrition, vitamin D, dopamine, serotonin, to relieve the stresses of trauma, and to actually be able to cope and manage with trauma, because that can get triggered randomly, and then you're just like stuck in this reliving trauma, and that's insanely difficult to get out of. And not everyone has experienced something that's that impactful on their mental state, and so they just don't know that it can really be that bad. And someone who's intelligent and hardworking and has good nutrition can be sitting there and doing a great job, lots of focus, killing it on the day, and then they get triggered, which is an actual medical term. It's not like a snowflake political term that got invented um, to justify why people are lazy these days or whatever. It's an actual medical term. They get triggered based on trauma that's never been fully treated and resolved. Someone who's was doing really well can just totally collapse. And that's something that we as a society, I think, need to do a better job of understanding and figuring out, so we can actually help people if we care about each other. I think that we should work on that together. And that's one big purpose of this channel and of depressedamerican.com. So what I was trying to say is that I think with social isolation and people being cooped up even more than, social media and the internet has helped us connect digitally through technology while we physically separate. And so now, as we all know, that's even worse with social isolation. And I think I've already seen literature and research talking about mental health becoming an even bigger issue. And as I mentioned, depression is supposed to be the number one leading cause of disability right now. So it was already a big issue that we're not fully dealing with. We're just pretending it doesn't exist, even though if it's the leading cause of disability, that's over heart attacks, cardiac arrest, cancer, diabetes. So all these nasty diseases that we take pretty seriously, even if as a culture we still do a lot of really bad lifestyle. We still love to eat sugar, we still love to do all these unhealthy things, and even though they're clearly connected to these other diseases, we still take these other diseases way more seriously than we take depression, which is a disease. People pretend it's not a disease. It is. It's a medically defined disease. It's a physical, biological disease. So I don't really like the term mental health, even though I use it. I'm used to using it, but I consider mental health to be physical health. I mean, your brain literally processes everything that's going on in your body. And if your brain chemistry is wacky, and whenever, you haven't resolved your trauma, there's stuff going on in your brain, that's part of your body. It's biological. So I don't understand why we're so confused on the biological impacts that depression has on your body, but we as a culture still don't seem to get it. And it's not that that's the purpose of this channel. It's really to provide resources to people who have been dealing with it, or people who know people who have been dealing with it and want to understand it better and are just looking for more resources. But I think there could be some better education, not just on depression, but a whole lot of medical and physical and health issues that we have in our society, in modern society. I think that we could be more educated on all of it. So let's start here. And I'm scared for the people that are getting worse as social isolation continues. And I want to be here as somebody that you can reach out to and talk to, even if I'm not available by email. I should. I don't check it every day. I may not check it every day, at least. So if you don't hear from me right away at depressedamerican@gmail.com, don't assume I'm ignoring you. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm spending a lot of time working on myself and feeling good for myself. And then I have to work another job. So I've got a lot of people hitting me up and different people wanting things, and that's great. Like, I'm not complaining about any of that, but I want to be here to help support you and be a resource. Just understand, I may not get back to you right away, but you can write me at depressedamerican@gmail.com. Take care of yourself. Bye.